Good morning, students. Good morning, Eugene, my host. Today's lesson, we are going to start off with our life roles and the changes that we adapt to within society. The lesson can also be found on YouTube, and you can catch me on Instagram as well at Miss Moses 19. Okay, so at the end of this lesson, the role we play at different times of our life. So therefore, we are discussing the roles of life, the rights and responsibilities connected with each of these roles. To everyone that is tuned in, I will allow time for questions at the end of the session. Unit 1, life roles. So what is a life role? A life role is the part or the role that someone has in a family, a society, or other group. Change. We often hear the word change. Change is to become a different person, to change your actual ways, and to leave behind old habits. I'm sure that a lot of us are familiar with the quote that says, be the change you want to see in the world. Responsibility. So, what is responsibility? Responsibility is when you are given a duty or a task that you are required to do. Relationships we come across in our everyday lives, which is the way in which we think, the way in which we behave with two or more people, and how we deal with each other. Life roles relate to the stage of life where we are and to our relationships with our family and others. Our life roles change as we go through different experiences and life stages. By this being said, each and every individual person experiences different stages in life at different times. Okay. On the next slide, we have the different stages of development, which is also how you are growing in life from infancy, which is listed from birth to 3 months. Then you have your childhood years, which start at the age of 4 to 10 years of age. We experience adolescence, which you guys are currently experiencing in the age group of 11 to 18 years old. Early adulthood starts from the age between 19 and 34 years of age. Then we get middle adulthood, which is our class of people that are above us, such as our parents and all the senior members of our family and friends. Lastly, we also have what is known as later adulthood, and that is the ranges of age between 61 and over. As you can see in the above slide, that you usually have more than one role at a time. For example, you can be both a child to your parents and a parent to your child. In different roles in life, you can be either one of the following: dependent. So, what does it mean to be dependent? Dependent basically refers to the fact that you need the help of others and the support of others. Once again, referring to the example or looking at the example above, which says the relationship between a parent and a child. Then our next role is independent. So, what does it mean to be independent? A lot of people say being independent is where you do not need the help of others, where you solely rely on your own self. We also have interdependent, and I would ask that you please make sure that you know the difference between independent and interdependent. So, interdependent is you and someone else, can be a mother, a father figure, or a husband, where you and that person are interdepending upon each other because you actually need the support of each other. You can see in brackets, I've made an example. A relationship that goes and that should be interdependent is that of a marriage, or also known as a husband and a wife relationship. Development of self in society. Self-awareness. So self-awareness means how well you know yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, also your likes and your dislikes. A lot of the times we find that we are constantly aware of what is going on around us and aware of certain appearances that we have to uphold. Self esteem is also something that a lot of school children, even adults these days, are struggling. Firstly, we're going to define self esteem and then I will go into the different types of self esteem, which is a positive self esteem and a negative self esteem. So, a self esteem is the way you see yourself, how much you like yourself, and how well you feel about yourself. You can either have a positive or a negative self image. People who suffer from a negative self image usually see themselves as worse than what they are. For example, someone with anorexia or bulimia can see themselves way worse off than the actual condition and usually results on a negative, distorted self image, resulting in them hating the way they look. So, for example, someone with anorexia can think the condition that they are currently experiencing is way worse off than the actual appearance they are seeing as reflection in the mirror. This often results in the fact that they then experience a negative self esteem, or also known as a low self esteem. Whereas if you have a positive self esteem or a positive self image, you are more likely to see yourself how you actually look like, not just how you think you look. I have two quotes for you guys. It says, it's not who you are that holds you back, it is who you think you are not. The next one over there says, your soul knows that you are good enough. So whether you feel that you have a low self-esteem, whether you feel that you have a positive self-esteem, the only thing that you constantly have to remind yourself is the fact that it is not who you are that holds you back, it is who you think you are not. Okay, so self development. What is it to be self developed? Self development is the process or act of becoming oneself, developing one's potential, achieving an awareness of one's identity. Self motivation change also comes from a vivid awareness of what we want for ourselves, our future, and the lucid recognition that we simply won't be able to have it if we don't leave our bad habits behind. We are almost finished, guys, and then I will leave some time for questions. Okay, there are different factors that can influence self awareness. The view that we have of ourselves change as we progress through the life stages and life experiences we have. For example, factors that can influence your self awareness are what happens in your life. For example, your surroundings, your relationships with friends and family, how well you cope with difficult things in your life, if you can manage failure. That is basically what the second point means, how well you cope with difficult things in your life. So, for example, if you fail a subject and you feel you have a low self esteem, you need to decide whether you are going to make a change and become aware that you already have failed the subject, but now adapt ways to change to improve your learning. So that is how well you will be able to deal with the things that you are experiencing in life. Also, emotional development plays a huge role in our self awareness, as a lot of the time we experience a variety of mixed emotions that can cause a low self esteem. And then lastly, our last bullet over there is called or known as sexual orientation. Okay, ever heard of the hashtag confidence is key? So, confidence. Confidence is what you believe of yourself, how well you will project yourself, and how well you can influence yourself with others in a positive manner. Strategies to build confidence in yourself and others. Now that you know that you can influence your self esteem, it is easier to develop strategies that will improve your and others' confidence. To build confidence in yourself and others, you need to be able to develop a good communication skills so that others don't misunderstand you or get the wrong message. So, with that being said, to develop good communication skills so that others do not misunderstand you or interpret the message wrongly, you need to make sure that you are in constant, clear communication with the next person so that conflict will not arise. Then, our next point there is to be assertive, also known as to be firm, meaning you have to say what you want and to state it clearly and boldly with confidence. Yesterday's lesson, we covered social responsibilities, and our last bullet over here takes us back to the reflection of yesterday's lesson, which dealt with social responsibility and community life, organizations, and community life. So the last bullet says how to build your self-confidence is to participate in community organizations and community life. For example, how would you as a grade 10 learner be able to assist the community or be able to help out in the community? If there is anyone that can give me an example how you will assist your community to build your self-confidence at the end of the day. Life roles involve your relationship with yourself, family, partners, etc. Life roles start, change, adapt, and end as we grow and move through the different stages of life. Therefore, each of us fulfills different life roles at the same time. Below, I have a few links or two links that you guys can briefly check out on how to build self confidence and also how to maintain a good and positive self image or self esteem. Okay, and lastly, guys, please join me every weekday at 9 a.m. for grade 10 life orientation lessons. And then I have a cute quote for you guys that says, remember that you are not required to set yourself on fire to keep other people warm. Also, everyone that is tuned in, please do not forget to follow us on social media at Africa Teen Geek. Also, you can make use of the hashtags, which is hashtag lockdown school. And you can feel free to contact me anytime, guys, via email at mosesjanelle19@gmail.com. Also note that contact via email is strictly for work-related issues and queries. I'm just trying to open up the link so that I can show you guys the video before we leave. So you can follow the link on your own, but I would just like to show you guys the link as well on how to build self-confidence. I'm just trying to open up the link, guys. I'm having a bit of technical issues, guys. If you can just bear with me for a few minutes only. Thank you so much for everyone that is tuning in every day. Please do not forget to share. The links is loading really slow, guys. So please just bear with me. Okay, it looks like the link is working and loading now. Kiran, I see you have a question. In my opinion, video games can both depict how you feel in a negative or angry manner, also in a positive manner. But if you play age restriction games that are not so influential on yourself and your schoolwork, then I guess it should at times uplift the way you feel. But also, with regards to age restriction, if the age restriction is 18 and above and you feel you are an adult and you need no supervision, I would like to request that you try and contain your emotions and allow yourself to go through all the emotions and to experience the emotions one at a time and not to be hasty to get out of the way you feel. Okay, I'm going to ask that everyone look at the link. I will type the link in the comment section below so that when you have time, you can check out the link on YouTube. Karen, I hope that answered your question. Thanks, ma'am. You asked me a lot. It answered my questions. Can some games have life lessons? I suppose some games can have life lessons depending on the type of game it is that you are playing. So I'm not quite sure what type of games you are into playing, but I suggest that you go have a look at the reviews and see what people have said about the game, how it makes them feel. Okay, guys, I just copied the link into the chat. Can everyone please check out the link when you have time? We are finished with our lesson. If there's any further questions, please feel free to ask them now in the chat section. Yes, that is right. GTA is not a game for kids. Thank you, Kiran. I think the best thing to do with gaming, guys, is that everyone has different tastes. So try to find more stimulating, brain stimulating games, educational games. And I know a lot of you guys thinking that it's boring, it is not helpful. But in times like this, it can be very helpful. Guys, we have some time left. I'm going to briefly ask if there's any volunteers that would like to tell me the difference between self-awareness and self-esteem. So if anyone is willing to volunteer to answer the question is, what is the difference between self-awareness and self-esteem? Remember, we covered self-awareness as well as self-esteem. And then also you can have, as I said, a positive or a negative self-esteem. If there is no one, I am going to ask that you please come back tomorrow morning, refreshed at 9 a.m. with some answers or with some opinions of what you think best describes self-awareness and self-esteem. That's good. Thank you, Olam Uwang. Self-esteem is how you view yourself, which means in a good or a bad way. That is totally correct. Anyone that would like to give me another answer in your own words? Self-awareness is when you know yourself as a person, your strengths and your weaknesses. Yes, that is also correct. Thank you, guys. Keep going with the participation. It's really amazing that you guys are taking time to participate. Thank you, Kiran. Thank you, Ulam. Thank you, everyone else that is tuned in. So, if there are any of the students that was tuned in yesterday with the life orientation lesson that can remember that I've asked for two community organizations or two youth-based community organizations in Cape Town. If there's anyone that know of two or that have actually went to go look at two, can you please name those two? If not, I am challenging you guys once again today to look up two youth or community organizations that are based in Cape Town. One of them we said yesterday is a group or program NGO called Groundbreakers. A few more minutes, guys. If there's no one, we will end off today's lesson. And also remember that everyone in life has a different life role as they experience different types of emotions and different stages that they go through in life. Thank you so much, Chiyamu. We will have class again tomorrow, guys. So I will still be here for tomorrow. So what I'm asking is that everyone please go look up two foundations or organizations in Cape Town where you can do volunteer work. Remember that class is at 9 every day, guys. If you are uncertain about tomorrow, we will be here at 9 again. I will be here tuning in at 9. Okay, also the difference between self-esteem and self-awareness. So self-awareness means you know yourself, your strengths and your weaknesses. And self-esteem is the way you see yourself, how much you like yourself, and how well you feel about yourself. And also going back to the slides, I said, whether self-esteem comes a positive or a negative self-esteem. I hope that answers your question, Arthur. So for tomorrow, two youth or community organizations where you can do volunteer work at, but these organizations should be based in Cape Town. So you are going to find out any two organizations out of the several organizations we have in Cape Town. You can find any two where you can tell me what type of volunteer work you will do at this organization of your choice. So if there's no one anymore, we are going to end today's lesson and we will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to give a brief activity on development of the self in society to test how well you know yourself. Tomorrow we are briefly also going to touch and start with careers and career choices. So to those that was wondering what we're doing tomorrow, we're starting off with career and career choices. Thank you so much for tuning in today, everyone. Parents, students, thank you so much. Do not forget to join me every weekday at 9 a.m. for grade 10 live orientation lessons. Remember also to constantly remind yourself that you are worth more. You are not required to set yourself on fire to keep other people warm. And the only way that you will be able to maintain a positive self image is if you believe in yourself and if you believe in unbelievable things that you can do whatever. Thank you so much, guys.